first thing that we'll go into is just the general position. And, I would say it wouldn't be a bad idea to just work on just the arm swing. So you don't have to always be running. You could just do a basic drill where you're just working on being able to get your arm swing and just being able to feel the positions that you're getting into within the arm. So then you know where you have some potential areas to improve. Now, first thing that I see that ends up, I think, being an issue is as people are pulling back with the arm, it really wants to be exactly that. It wants to be a pull back with the hand, okay? And a good way to do that is really think about the wrist. So as I'm going back here, I'm really pulling my wrist back so you can see how I get into this position. We don't want to be too flexed with the wrist. Like sometimes I'll see people kind of do this, or like just be doing too much stuff with like their hands, kind of have their hand a little bit more off to the side. I know that feels weird, but that really is a position or a problem that people have. Now, a lot of times people will ask me, what hand position do you want to be in? Do you want to be locked with the fist? Do you want to be, wide with the fingers or closed with the fingers? And I don't necessarily have one particular thing that works. I like to have like kind of a closed fist here, but I don't like really clench my hands. But there's plenty of people that have a lot of different positions. Typically what happens is like when people are too stuck with the wrist, then they're going to get more of like a downward movement with the hand, a little bit more straight. Could also be coming a little bit more like off to the side with the hand. Okay, we don't want to be going here. We want to be pulling as much kind of straight back as we can. What I usually say is like as we go back, we want to be going kind of back with the elbow, right? And a little bit more out with the hand. Okay, so as I'm going back here, it's okay to get a little bit wider with the hand and a little bit more tight with the elbow. And then as we're coming forward, we're going to be a little bit more wide with the elbow, kind of tight with the hand, or inside with the hand, right? So my hand's going to be a little bit more outside the or inside the elbow when coming forward. Okay, hands a little bit more inside of the elbow when coming forward. As I'm pulling back, I'm going to pull back with my elbow. So my hand really wants to be straight up with the elbow, or my hand and forearm really want to be either here or it could be a little bit outside. We don't want to obviously get too wide here, but we really, most importantly, need to keep that elbow in, right? Really pull that hand straight back, keep that wrist being able to pull back. And then, from that position, if you can get your elbow up to your shoulder, great. That should be about where we're getting to as we're pulling back, right? The more range that we have pulling back, the better. Okay, and then as we're coming forward, we really want to be able to come in and just lock this elbow. So we don't want to be doing a lot of that type of action. It wants to just be coming straight forward and then pulling back. I'll see a lot of times people will be doing kind of excessive range here, or even getting too high with the hand. Typically when I'm running, I get about to my lip level. Okay, so my hands are going to get about to my hip or my nose. They're not going to get anything higher than the lip or the nose. They're going to just go right about to there and then coming all the way back. And so the emphasis wants to be on quick forward, hard pull back, right? So it wants to be as quick, as limited of an action as you can coming forward, and then a nice strong pullback of the hand. And so when you can just work on being able to do that, keep it nice and tight within the elbow, a little bit of a forward lean, and then just working on the speed of your hands is a great way to be able to make it so you can actually get faster, right? Because that will help you in being able to understand then how to be able to have a little bit more effective turnover, which is obviously important when it comes to being able to run fast. And just to go over some of the don'ts here, just because I think I already went over some of them there, but I didn't make it very specific. I would say the first thing that we want to be is we want to have like a wrist that's consistent. Okay, so we don't want to be, doing too much extra stuff like, I'll see people that will go here. I'll see people that will be kind of wide. I'll see people go that like from here to going out to the side, right? So we want to be locked in with the wrist, okay? So that's the most common mistake that I see that messes up people's arms, is not having a good kind of locked wrist position when it comes to sprinting. So that's going to be number one that you want to be able to make sure that you have correct, is you have your wrist locked in, whether you have your hands closed or your hands open or your feet or your hands together. I think if you have your hands open here, it's better to open your fingers. If you have your hands closed, then it's better to have your wrists a little bit more, your fingers a little bit more together, okay? But those are really the two main areas that I see the most success in when it comes to your hand positions. Either you have your hands all the way open, fingers spread, or you have a slight closed position within the hands, and you just have a kind of a looseness with your fingers, but they're closed. Your hands are closed. Your fists are balled up, but they're not like you're squeezing. It's like a nice, like, relaxed position. Now, the other common mistake is as people are pulling back with the hand, getting too either wide with the hand or too much in with the elbow. Okay, so we don't want to be pulling back here, or we don't want to be getting too wide here. It wants to be a pretty straight action, right? There's going to be a little bit of, as we're pulling back, your hand's going to get, or your elbow's going to get a little bit out to the side, hand's going to get a little bit out to the side, but the tighter we can keep that, the better. And then as we're coming forward, it's going to come slightly out to the side, and then we're going to be pulling back, kind of similar to the legs and how it wants to be, right? So as we come forward, we're going to be going here, and then we're going to be pulling out to the side, kind of a similar action where we're going straight kind of back inwards, and then we're going to be coming forward slightly out to the side. There's a lot of correlation between what you're doing in the lower body as what you're doing in the upper body. Another common issue is just not getting enough height with the elbow, right? So we want to make sure that as we're pulling back, and there wants to be good height within the elbow and also good range pulling back with the hand. Okay, so if we are not getting, if we're too vertical, a lot of times people will go straight down and, you know, maybe get a little bit of an upward action here, but that's still like too much of like an up and down action with the arms, where it just wants to be straight forward and back the best you can, and really emphasizing getting your hands back behind the hips. Another common issue is just coming too far across, right? So we don't want to be here. We don't want to be too wide with the hands. Don't want to be too wide at the elbows. This is obviously overemphasizing it, where we're coming across. We don't really want the hands to cross the midline. We either are going to be here or slightly outside of here. Anything past the midline with the hands, that's too much inward action. That's too much going out and across there. So it wants to be a little bit more straight up and down. And then I would say the last thing that ends up being a common issue is just being too high out in front with the hand. So we don't want to end up really getting, the most that I see people have is the hand will get to, or the fingers will get to like the eyebrow. Okay, once you get above the eyebrow, that's really too high. Okay, and with your hands clenched, it's probably about nose. Okay, but if your hands are clenched, you really don't want to get much past there. You want to be, again, quick. The more you could have it like chin height, lip height, then the better you're going to be in being able to be quick with the hand action. Some people are going to be a little bit longer, but most of the top sprinters, they're really not getting their hands much higher than their lips when it comes to that front side, but are just really emphasizing that back pull, which is, I think, something that you want to be able to do as well, is really emphasize that back pull when you're sprinting. All right, so those are the main things that I think you want to be focusing on when you are going through your sprint, and what you really want to make sure that you're doing correctly within that arm swing to make it so you are able to run fast. The main concept you just want to understand is that it's a forward and back action with the arms. You don't want to be too much up and down, right? The most we can do, or the better we can eliminate up and down movement with the arms, that will help translate into the legs as well. We want to make sure that we're as much just forward. Obviously, there's going to be a slight up, and then we're going to go back, right, and up as well as we go back, but we really wants to be more back thinking than down thinking. We don't want to be up and down. We want to be forward and back when it comes to that arm swing, and the better we can do that, the faster we're going to be able to run. As always, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave those down below in the comments. Like the video, subscribe. If you have any recommendations or anything like that, you can leave those in the comments as well. We always appreciate you guys watching here. There's a lot of different things that we have in terms of programs and options in terms of helping you understand more about the sprinting mechanics, helping you in running fast, your analytics, getting more specific into your sprinting mechanics, making it so we can really isolate what are the main things you need to do in order to improve your speed, whether that's within your start, your drive phase, your top end speed. There's a lot of things that are really important. Obviously today we mostly talked about the top end speed and what you want to be doing within the arms. There's a lot of things that we could do from an acceleration standpoint as well. I'll probably make that video too. But again, like the video, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Check out the things in the description to find out some more about some additional offers that we have. We'll talk to you soon.